Laws for going to war. If you have to go to war, you may find yourselves facing an enemy army that is bigger than yours and that has horses and chariots. But you don't be afraid. The Lord your God rescue you from Egypt, and he will help you fight. Before you march into battle, the priest will go to the front of the army and say, "Soldiers of Israel, listen to me. Today, when you go into battle, don't be afraid of the enemy, and when you see them, don't panic. The Lord your God will fight alongside you and help you win the battle." Then the tribal officers will say to the troops, "If any of you have built a new house, you haven't yet moved in, you may go home. It isn't right for you to die in battle and for somebody else to live in your new house. If any of you have planted a vineyard but haven't had your first grape harvest, you may go home. It isn't right for you to die in battle and for somebody else to enjoy your grapes. If any of you are engaged to be married, you may go back home and get married. It isn't right for you to die in battle and for somebody else to marry the woman you are engaged to. Finally, if any of you are afraid, you may go home. We don't want you to discourage the other soldiers." When the officers are finishing giving these orders, they will appoint officers to be in commands of the army. Before you attack a town that is far from your end, offer peace to the people who live there. If they surrender and open their town gates, they will become your slaves. If they reject your offer of peace and try to fight, surround their town and attack. After the Lord helps you capture it, kill all the men, take the woman and children as slaves, and keep the livestock and everything else of value. Whenever you capture towns in the land the Lord your God is giving you, be sure to kill all the people or animals. He has commanded you to completely wipe out the Hittites and Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and Jebusites. If you allow them to live, they will persuade you to worship their disgusted gods, and you will be fearful to the Lord. When you are attacking a town, don't chop down its fruit trees, not even if you have had the town surrounded for a long time. Fruit trees aren't your enemies, and they produce food that you can eat. So don't cut them down. You may need wood to make ladders and towers to help you get over the walls and capture the town. But use only trees that you know are not fruit trees. Unsolved murder. Suppose the body of a murder victim is found in a field in the land the Lord your God is giving you, and no one knows who the murderer is. The judge and the other leaders from the towns around there must find out what town is the closest to where the body was found. The leaders from the town will go to their castle, herd, and choose a young cow that can never been put to work. They are some of the priests who will take this cow to a nearby valley where there is a stream but no crops. Once they reach the valley, the leaders will break the cow's necks. The priest must be there because the Lord your God has chosen them to be his special servant at the place of worship. The Lord has chosen them to bless the people in his name and to be judges in all legal cases, whether property or injury is involved. The town leaders will worship their hands over the body of the dead cow and say, "We had no part in this murder, and we don't know who did it. But since an innocent person was murdered, we beg you, our Lord, to accept this sacrifice and forgive Israel. We are your people, and you rescue us. Please don't hold this crime against us. If we obey the Lord and do these things, he will forgive Israel." Marrying a woman taken prisoner in war. From time to time, you men will serve as soldiers and go off to war. The Lord your God will help you defeat your enemies, and you will take many prisoners. One of these prisoners may be a beautiful woman, and you may want to marry her. First, you must bring her into your home and have her shave her head, cut her nails, get rid of her foreign clothes, and start wearing Israelite clothes. She will mourn a month for her father and mother. Then you can marry her. Later on, if you are not happy with the woman, you can divorce her and she can go free. When you have slept with her as your wife, so you cannot sell her as a slave or make her into your own slave. Right of a firstborn son. Suppose a man has two wives and loves one more than the other. The first son of either wife is the man's firstborn son, even if the boy's mother is the wife the man doesn't love. Later, when the man is near death and is dividing up his property, he must give a double share to his firstborn son, simply because he was the first to be born. A son who rebels, a father and a mother may have a stubborn and rebellious son who refuses to obey them even after he has been punished. If a son is like that, his parents must drag him to the town gate, where the leader of the town holds their meetings. The parents will tell the leaders, "This son of ours is stubborn and never obeys. He spends all his time drinking and partying. The man of town will stone that son to death, because they must get rid of the evil he brought into the community. Everyone in Israel will be afraid when they hear how he was punished. The body of a criminal. If a criminal is put to death, and you hang the dead body on the tree, you must not leave it there overnight. Bury it the same day, because the dead body of a criminal hanging on a tree will bring God's curse on the land. The Lord your God is giving this land to you, so don't make it unclean by leaving the bodies of executed criminals on display. Deuteronomy 22. Helping others. If you see a cow or sheep wandering around the lost, take the animal back to its owner. If the owner lives too far away, or if you don't know who the owner is, take the animal home with you and take care of it. The owner will come looking for the animal, and then you can give it back. That's what you should do if you find anything that belongs to someone else. Do whatever you can to help. Whether you find a cow or sheep or donkey or some clothing, oxen and donkeys that carry heavy loads can stumble and fall and be unable to get up by themselves. So as you walking along the road, have anyone who is trying to get an ox or donkey back on its feet. Don't pretend to be an opposite sex. A woman must not pretend to be man, and man must not pretend to be a woman. The Lord your God is disgusted with people who does that. Don't take a mother bird. As you walk around the road, you might see a bird's nest in a tree or on the ground. If the mother bird is in the nest with either her eggs or her baby birds, you're allowed to take the baby birds with the eggs, but not the mother bird. Let her go free, and the Lord will bless you with a long and successful life. Put a wall around your flat roof. If you build a house, make sure to put a raw wall around the edge of the flat roof. Then if someone falls off the roof and is killed, it won't be your fault. Laws against mixing different things. If you plant a vineyard, don't plant any other fruit tree or crop in it. If you do plant something else there, you must bring to the place of worship everything you have harvested from the vineyard. Don't hitch an ox and a donkey to your plow at the same time. When you weave clothes for clothing, you can use thread made of flax or wool, but not both together. And when you make a coat, sew a tassel on each of the four corners. When a husband accuses his wife, suppose a man starts hating his wife soon after they are married. He might tell ugly lies about her, he say, I married this woman, but when we slept together, I found out she wasn't a virgin. If this happens, the bride's father and mother must go to the town gate to show the town leaders the proof that the woman was a virgin. Her father will say, I let my daughter marry this man, but he started hating her and accusing her of not being a virgin. But he's wrong, because here is proof that she was a virgin. Then the bride's parents will show them the bed sheet from the woman's wedding night. The town leaders will beat the man with the whip because he accused his bride of not being a virgin. He will have to pay her father 100 pieces of silver and will never be allowed to divorce her. But if the man was right and there is no proof that his bride was a virgin, the man of the town will take the woman to the door of her father's house and stone her to death. This woman brought evil into your community by sleeping with someone before he got married, and you must get rid of that evil by killing her. Laws about illegal sex. People of Israel, if a man is caught having sex with someone else's wife, you must put them both to death. That way, you'll get rid of evil they have done in Israel. If a man is caught in town having sex with an engaged woman who isn't screaming for help, they both must be put to death. The man is guilty of having sex with a married woman, and the woman is guilty because she didn't call for help even though she was inside the town and people were nearby. Take them both to the town gate and stone them to death. You must get rid of evil they brought into your community. If an engaged woman is left out in the country, only the man will be put to death. Do not punish the woman at all. She has done nothing wrong and certainly nothing deserving death. This crime is like murder because the woman was alone out in the country. When the man attacked her, she screamed out there was no one to help her. Suppose a woman is engaged to be married and a man forces her to have sex with him. If he is caught, they will be forced to get married. He must give her father 50 pieces of silver as a bride price and can never divorce her. A man must not marry a woman who was married to his father. This would be disgrace to his father. Deuteronomy 23. You cannot become one of the Lord's people. If a man's private parts have been crushed or cut off, he can't fully belong to the Lord's people. No one born outside or a legal marriage, or any of their descendants for 10 generations can fully belong to the Lord's people. No Ammonites or Moabites, or any of their descendants for 10 generations, can become part of Israel, the Lord people. This is because when you came out of Egypt, they refused to provide you with food and water. And besides, they hired Balaam to put a curse on you. But the Lord your God loves you. So he refused to listen to Balaam and turned Balaam's curse into blessing. Don't even think of signing a peace treaty with Moab or Ammon. But Edomites are your relatives, and you lived as foreigners in the country of Egypt. Now you must be kind to Edomites and Egyptians, and let their great grandchildren become part of Israel, the Lord people. Keep the army camp acceptable. When you men go up to fight your enemies, make sure your camp is acceptable to the Lord. For example, if something happens at night that makes the man unclean and unfit for worship, he must go outside the camp and stay there until late afternoon. Then he must take a bath, and at sunset he can go back into camp. Set up a place outside the camp to be used as a toilet area. And make sure that you have a small shovel in your equipment. When you go out to the toilet area, use the shovel to dig a hole. Then after you relieve yourself, bury your waste in the hole. You must keep your camp clean of filthy and disgusting things. The Lord is always present in your camp, ready to rescue you and give you victory over your enemies. But if he sees something disgusting in your camp, he may turn around and leave. Runaway slaves from other countries. When runaway slaves from other countries come to Israel and ask for protection, you must not hand them back to their owners. Instead, you must let them choose which one of your towns they want to live in. Don't be cruel to runaway slaves. Temple prostitute. People of Israel, don't any of you ever be temple prostitutes. The Lord your God is disgusted with men and women who are prostitutes of any kind, and he will not accept a gift from them, even if it had been promised to him. Insert interest on loans. When you lend money, food, or anything else to another Israelite, you are not allowed to charge interest. You can charge on foreigner interest, but if you charge other Israelite interest, the Lord your God will not let you be successful in the land you are about to take. Sacred promises to the Lord. People of Israel, if we make a sacred promise to give a gift to the Lord, then do it as soon as you can. If the Lord has to come looking for the gift you promised, you'll be guilty of breaking that promise. On the other hand, if you never make a sacred promise, you can't be guilty of breaking it. You must keep whatever promises you make to the Lord. After all, you are the one who chose to make the promises. Eating someone else's produce. If you go into a vineyard that belongs to someone else, you're allowed to eat as many grapes as you want while you're there, but don't take any with you when you leave. In the same way, if you are in a grain field that belongs to someone else, you can pick heads of grain and eat the kernels, but don't cut down the stalks of grain and take them with you.